Thanks for joining me for practice. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel and share it with your family and friends. In the description is a link to my Patreon account. If you'd like to offer a donation, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. So I wanted to start today on our heels. If it's more comfortable for you to put a block or a bolster between the ankles, then you can move into Virasana with the heels just to the outsides of the hips. If that's not comfortable for you, then you're certainly welcome to just either sit on the heels or come into Sukhasana, easy pose, cross-legged. And then we'll just rest the hands in the lap. So left hand under the belly, right hand on top, thumbs touch. It would be the opposite for men. And just close your eyes. And take a moment to feel the body settling into this time and space. So just for a moment or two, watch the rise and fall of the abdomen. And remember, as you're breathing in this way, there's nothing to achieve, nowhere to get to, just the pure enjoyment of the breath. Belly, ribs, and all the way up into the chest. Exhalation, belly draws in and up, rib cage comes closer together, and chest softens. So we bring the breath up into the chest. There's a tendency to poke the low ribs forward. Try to keep the tailbone long and the low ribs drawing in slightly, so that when the breath moves up into the chest, it actually extends above the heart, even reaching into the upper portion of the lungs, just above the collarbones. So think vertical when you get up into the chest area. And it's really interesting, this understanding of when the breath reaches into this upper portion of the lungs, just above the collarbone, we start getting into the area or the region in the body of Udana Prana. Udana Prana Vayu is an area where we find more enthusiasm, a little bit more zest for life. And sometimes it can even feel as we're breathing that the breath gets stuck in the chest, so we can't get the breath quite up into that area of the body. And so doing it in this calm, relaxed state allows us to begin to explore some of that region if it's not an area we typically breathe into. But we have to be very mindful that as we breathe up into that part, we're not lifting the shoulders up by our ears, which is a sign of stress or tension. We want to keep those shoulders relaxed and down the back. And just take 3 more rounds here. If you haven't added in an Ujjayi sound, just a gentle ocean wave or whisper type sound brought into the breath will help keep the mind in the present moment. And please just take 1 more. And on exhalation, bring hands to heart. And let the thumbs touch the sternum and bow the head. And we'll set the intention for the practice today to work on this extension, this ascension feeling in the body, the vertical that I was mentioning before. And specifically, working to get some prana up into the area that does encourage more enthusiasm and zest for life, for the newness, for expansion and growth. So this is a perfect opportunity to call in the thing that you're seeking, the thing you're wanting to reach forward for. And take a moment to do that now. And then place that here in your heart, surrounded with unconditional love and compassion. And we'll begin with the chant of Om 3 times to just align with the creative vibration of the universe. So deep inhale in, and then take a long exhale out. And take another deep inhale in. Just lower your chin to your chest. Release your hands for a moment to your lap. And take your time to just gently return back to the room. And now we'll stretch out the legs from sitting here. So release the block if you had it between your ankles and come into tabletop position. Hands will go directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then extend your right leg back and press out through the heel. And take a moment just to stretch back. If you would like, you can bring a little gentle bounce to the leg. And then switch and do the other side. And we want to get some blood flow back and forth. So right leg again, then now left. And just begin a pumping action here in the legs. And one more right, one more left. And we'll settle in tabletop position. Inhale, heart lift, sit bones lift as you look up. And then stay in this position and exhale, push down deeply into the hands, knees, and feet. And round the back, draw the tailbone down, lift the lower belly. And then do it again. Inhale, extend heart forward, tailbone lifts. Keep a slight lift in the lower belly to protect the lower back. And then exhale, press deeply into the earth, like you could make an imprint in the ground. And then round the back and draw the navel and pelvic floor deeply in and up. And now keep going with your breath, inhaling, exhaling. And we're going to work towards Samavriti. Inhale being the same length as the exhale. And as you breathe in, see if you can really get that breath to go all the way from the belly up to the collarbones. You're spreading the collarbones wide, sending breath into that area, and then exhaling, emptying from the bottom all the way out from the top. 2 more. Last one here. We'll round the back, and this time take the sit bones all the way to child's pose. And just give a little break on those wrists. So walk the hands forward, come up under the fingertips for just a moment. Let the heart dip through the shoulders. And draw the tips of the shoulder blades down your back. Then place the palms flat for a moment and walk your hands to the right. Let the left rib cage bow, let the left hip soften to the side, and turn your left cheek down into the mat. And then grow heavy through the tops of your shoulders. So there's no gripping in this area of the body at all. Especially let that left shoulder grow soft. Breathe into the areas of sensation. Inhale intensifies them. Exhale softens them. And then walk back to center. And we'll do it on the other side. So hands to the left. Right rib cage bows. Right hip softens to the side. Turn your right cheek down into the mat. And now really let go through the shoulders. See if you can get the breath into any area that feels closed off. And then come back to center. Come back to tabletop. If you need to move forward slightly on your mat, please do so. And have your hands spread wide, tuck your back toes under, lift your sit bones up and away, and come into downward facing dog. So here we'll bend one knee, press the other heel down, and then bend the other knee and press the other heel down, and just pedal the legs and feet a little bit. And then find your feet hip distance apart, toes turned in slightly, heels out, roll the inner thighs in and back, and allow the sit bones to spread. And then come up onto the balls of the feet for a moment. Lift your heels as high as you can, bend your knees, and push your chest towards your thighs. So you're going to, again, flatten out that back, get as much extension as you can through the spine. Let the head and neck grow heavy. You can shake it yes and no to make sure it's soft. And then keeping the hips lifted as high as you can slowly start to lower the heels towards the earth. But then just be real mindful of when the upper back wants to start rounding. And then maybe that's just where your posture is today. You just stop right there. Now breathe deeply. Keep rolling shoulder heads away from the ears. Squeeze inner elbows toward one another. Anchor firmly through web of index and thumb. And make sure the quad stays strong. Navel pulls in and up on exhalation. 2 more breaths here. And then come onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, and step forward to your fingertips. Open your feet hip distance apart and just melt over the legs. Let everything soften. Head and neck is relaxed. Breathe deeply here. Keep that little micro bend in your knee. Bring your body weight forward in the balls of the feet so the sit bones lift a little higher. And then make sure you're pressing equally through the inner foot and outer foot. Again, make sure the head and neck is relaxed. If you need that little shaking yes and no. And then we're going to sweep the hands behind us, interlace the fingers, take the knuckles up and away, and now stretch out the shoulders. And just do your best to extend the knuckles away from you, kind of squeezing some of that tension out of the upper back, upper neck region. If you like to do the flossing of the shoulder blades, you can reach the knuckles as far away from you as you can, and then pull the knuckles back towards the sacrum and just go back and forth a couple times. It's always interesting to see where the tension's being held in the middle back. And then bring your hands to your hips, scoop your heart, press equally through both feet, and then slowly rise up into standing and find Samastiti, standing mountain pose. Just feel both feet anchored deeply into the earth. Lift the back of the skull so the crown of the head lifts. Heart is open, and again, watch those low ribs. But notice if you feel a little bit taller here, a little more spacious. So we're going to do a moon salutation. Starting at the front of the mat, the feet will be hip distance apart or just slightly wider than that. Hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Turn the toes out, heels in. Bend the knees wide, hands to the heart space, into squat. And then exhale, bring the hands down, turn the toes back in, forward fold over the legs. Step the right leg back, lower the knee down, top of the foot. Keep your fingers in a finger stand and lean into the lunge. So you're really stretching through the back of the thigh. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the knees to the floor. Heart lift, sit bones lift. Tabletop. Exhale, navel to spine, child's pose. Inhale, stand on the knees, bring both arms up and over the head. And then exhale, bow down to child's pose. Inhale, tabletop position. Heart lift, sit bones lift. Spread the collarbones. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Same leg move, so right comes forward. Left knee goes down. Keep the fingers in a finger stand and lean into the lunge. And then exhale, step the back foot forward. Feet are hip distance apart. Forward fold. Inhale, turn the toes out. Heels in. Sink into squat. Hands in prayer at the heart. Exhale, toes back in. Forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach, palms touch. And exhale, arms out wide as you bring the hands to the heart. That's the right side. Let's do the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Toes out, heels in. Inhale to squat. Heart extends. Exhale, toes back in, forward fold. This time, left leg steps back, lower knee, top of the foot, fingers in a finger stand, lean into the lunge. And exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale to tabletop position. Heart lift, sit bones lift, spread collarbones. Exhale, navel to spine, child's pose. Inhale, stand on the knees, bring both arms up and over the head. And then exhale, bow back down to child's pose. Inhale to tabletop position again. Spread the collarbones wide. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward to the fingertips. Lower the right knee down. Low lunge. Fingers in a finger stand. Lean into it. And then exhale, step the back foot forward. Standing forward fold, melt over the legs. Toes out, heels in. Inhale into squat. Exhale, toes in, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach, palms touch. And exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Toes out, heels in. Inhale, squat. Exhale, forward fold. Toes in. Right leg back, low lunge. Fingers in a finger stand, lean into it. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, tabletop. Spread collarbones wide. Exhale, child's. Inhale, stand on knees. Arms reach overhead. Exhale, bow back down to child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Heart lift, sit bones lift. Exhale, down dog. Right leg steps forward. Low lunge. Lean into it. Exhale, step the back foot forward. Standing forward fold, melt. Toes out, heels in. Inhale into squat. Hands in prayer at the heart. Exhale, toes back in, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up, arms reach. And exhale, hands to heart. Left side, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Toes out, heels in, squat. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back, low lunge. Lean into it. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's. Inhale, stand on knees. Exhale, bow back down. Inhale, tabletop again. Exhale, down dog. Left leg through, right knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step forward, standing forward fold. And inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach. And exhale, hands to heart. So take a moment here just to rest and just notice the difference in the effect, the quality of the moon salutation versus the sun salutation. Maybe a little more grounding, stabilizing. So feel that vertical line as you anchor into the feet and reach high through the crown of the head. Good, and then come back to the front of your mat. This time, if you'd like, you can have big toes touching or space between the heels or feet hip distance. Either one is fine. Inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. This time, we're just going to step the left foot back first. And if you need extra padding under your knee, we're going to be here for a while. So flip your mat over or use a blanket. Keep your fingers in a finger stand and keep your back toes tucked under. Inhale, lean into the lunge. So really get deep here in the lunge. As long as the back knee's on the floor, it's okay to take that front knee over the ankle. And then as you exhale, walk your fingers back, flex your right foot, and now soften into that hamstring stretch. Half splits here. Do it again. Inhale, come forward, lean into the lunge. Exhale, walk back. Toes flex. Do it again. Inhale, lean into it, heart is open. Exhale, pull the foot back, stretch into the hamstring. Good. Now this time as we go into it, we're going to lean into the lunge as deeply as we can, and now bring the arms up and over the head and sweep into low lunge. Now you're welcome to keep the back toes tucked under if you'd like. If you prefer to place that back foot down, anchor into the big toe and pinky toe side of the foot, and then relax the shoulders down your back. So gaze is up here, and I want you to feel that the more you root into the earth, the taller and the lighter you can get through the spine. So again, that anchoring, that grounding, creating the possibility for expansion. And then let the breath do the rest of the work. So breathe up into the heart, send that breath from belly, ribs, chest, all the way to the collarbones. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Belly, ribs, chest on exhale. Collarbones are the last thing to release. 2 more. So bring your fingertips now down to the floor. Untuck that back knee, step the right leg back, and just take a moment or two in downward facing dog to adjust. Letting all that settle. Breathe here. One more. And we'll do the other side. So you're going to lunge the left foot forward to the fingertips. If it doesn't make it, pick it up and place it there. Flip your mat over. Make sure you have the grounding that you need to feel supported in that knee. If a blanket's a better option, take it. So fingers in a finger stand. You're going to lean into that front knee. Back toes are tucked under, stretching into the groin stretch. And then exhale, slowly walk your hands back, sit back on the heel, and pull the left toes back. Do it again. Inhale, come forward. Lean into it. And exhale, walk back. Keep going. Inhaling in. Exhale back. Good. Now this time you're going to inhale, lean into it. First find the depth here with the fingers on the floor. If you want to place the top of the foot down, great. Just make sure you're really anchoring into big toe and pinky toe. And then inhale, slowly bring the arms up and over the head and move into the lunge here. And really feel all that space, but it comes from being grounded. It comes from being anchored. Shoulder heads move into their sockets. Heart is lifted. Breath gets into the collarbones. Breathe deeply here. Ujjayi breathing. Make sure that if you're looking up, there's about a space, about 1 to 2 inches from the base of the skull to the back of the neck, so you're not crunching the back of the neck. And see where you can fill the body with breath. One more. And then lower the hands to the floor, undo the mat, and we'll step back to downward facing dog. And take a moment here. Just settle in. Roll shoulders away from ears. Hug inner elbows toward one another. Anchor firm through the web of the index and thumb. Good. One more breath. And then just lower the knees to the floor for a moment. Sit tall on your heels. Rest here. Again, you can bring the hands into the lap if you'd like. Sit with a tall spine, relaxed body, tailbone under, lower belly lifts. Heart is open. And we're going to go a little deeper into that front body stretch. So bring your fingertips behind you, point them towards your heels. And now we just did all that work to open up both sides. Let's open them up symmetrically here. So as you press down into the hands, lift the sternum, lift the heart, stretch into the tops of the shoulders. And if you want to keep going, now start to push into the knees and lift the hips up off the heels. And get that deep stretch there. One more. Good, and then gently lower hips back down, lift the sternum forward and up and sit tall on the heels again. And notice if you feel maybe some prana moving from the base up towards the crown, towards that growth, that expansion, that enthusiasm for life. Okay, tabletop position, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And now bring your feet together, come onto the balls of the feet, reach right leg up in the air. Exhale, left heel down. If you'd like, lower left forearm down to the floor, gaze up at the right inner arm. If that's not comfortable, just stay on the hands. But as you keep that leg extended, just really open it up. And if you want to bend the knee, draw the heel to the glute. And now feel, again, that psoas muscle in the front of the body, deep within. And then keep taking that tailbone in and up. Keep lifting the lower belly. And then straighten that leg again, come off the forearm, and swing the right leg through to the fingertips. We're going to line the front heel with the arch of the back foot. Come up through Warrior One and open hip and shoulder to the left for Warrior Two. So go down into that front knee, make sure it's in alignment with the ankle but not beyond it, and push that knee towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Press firmly to the outside edge of the back foot like you were anchored into the wall behind you. And we're going to move dynamically here. Inhale the arms long. Exhale, take the left hand down to the back thigh and turn and look at the right palm as you move into a reverse Warrior Two. And then inhale, come back up. So nothing in the legs changes, just the arms are going to move. Exhale, lean back. Reverse Warrior Two. Inhale to Warrior Two. And exhale, go back. And now this time as you come back into Warrior Two, bring your neck neutral to the side and then take your right arm behind you and wiggle that arm as high up in between your shoulder blades as you can. And then the left arm comes up and goes down. Now, if you can clasp your fingers behind you, that's great. If you can't clasp them, that's okay too. Just keep reaching the fingers toward one another. And now bend into that front knee a little more because we tend to back off. Lengthen the tailbone down, lift the lower belly, lift the heart, and see how vertical you can get here, breathing into that full expansion of the breath. Watch those low ribs, keep pulling them towards the back body. 2 more. And then release the hands. Go back to Warrior Two. Back hand to thigh. Now inhale, reverse Warrior Two. And slowly straighten the leg. Come back up. And then turn your toes in. Hands to hips. Rest in the center for a minute. Wide stance, but if you need to heel toe in for more stability, go ahead. And again, that rubber band effect, just kind of feel what's been stretched, what we still have to work, and the difference between the two. Okay, so just for ease, we're gonna switch the feet out here. So left foot is straight, heel to arch alignment. We'll be going into warrior two on this side. Inhale the arms long, bend into that front knee, and as you do, keep it in alignment with the ankle. Make sure that that knee moves towards the pinky toe side of your foot. And then just moving dynamically through the arms. Inhaling here, spread the chest wide. Exhale, back hand to thigh, reverse warrior two. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale. Exhale. Very nice. Inhaling back. Move your head to the neutral position and take your left arm and wiggle it as high up in between your shoulder blades as you can. Right hand comes around this time. If the fingers clasp, great. If they don't worry about it. Just keep reaching them toward one another. This is a lot to do with the length of the side body, so lift that right elbow as high as you can, and then deepen this stretch in the knee a little bit because we tend to back off when we're going into the posture. And then lengthen that tailbone, lower belly pulls in, heart stays open, collarbone spread wide. Breathe here. Deep Ujjayi breaths. Let some of that heat build. This is helpful for the cleaning and clearing out process. And now release the arms back to warrior two. Backhand to thigh. Turn and look at the left palm. Now straighten that front leg as you inhale deeply into that whole left side. This time we're going to pinwheel our fingertips to the floor and pivot on the ball of the back foot for high lunge position, and then step back to downward facing dog. And we just got to finish that up by bringing the feet together. Come onto the balls of the feet, and this time lift the left leg up in the air. Exhale the right heel down. Lift the left as high as you can. Stack left hip over right. If you'd like, take right forearm down. Gaze up at the left inner arm. Bend the knee if you want. Draw the heel to the glute. Ujjayi breathing. Find those areas that are tight. Breathe into them. And straighten that leg. Slowly come off the forearm. Come back to downward facing dog for just a moment. Lift the hips high. And then lower knees to floor. And once again, sit tall on the heels for your resting pose. Vajrasana. Close the eyes. Hands rest gently in the lap. Feel your vertical length, all the space. So hips move to one side, legs come out in front of you. Find Dandasana staff pose if you want to internally rotate the thighs for a moment. Bring your hands by your hips. Press down through the heels of the hands, chin in, back of the neck lifts. The skull, crown of the head lifts. Again, remember that the more rooted we are, the more that expansion happens. And then once again, we're going to bring our fingertips back behind us. We've got two options here. So first option's reverse table. That's to bring the feet flat, knees bent, press into the hands and feet, and now lift the spine off the floor. Everything stays parallel here. Back body hugs the front body. And if you feel like you want just a little bit more, you can come into reverse plank, which is to have the legs and feet straight and do the same thing. You're going to press down and lift and push those toes now towards the floor, feeling that whole front body open. 2 more breaths. The more you ground, the lighter you'll feel. And then gently lower the hips down. Come back up into Dandasana, so hands beside the hips. Sit tall. And then we'll come onto our backs. Feet flat, knees bent. And move into a deeper back bend here. So with the feet flat, knees bent, lightly touch your heels with your fingertips. Keep your arms down by your side for just a moment. And we're going to move in and out dynamically to start. So inhale, roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, all the way up towards those collarbones, and then exhale, navel in, slowly roll the spine back down, lengthen the tailbone towards the heels. And repeat that again. Inhale, roll up, one vertebrae at a time. And exhale, roll back down, navel in, lengthen tailbone. Good, 3 more like that with your breath. And if you want, on the next inhale, you can add in the arms. They'll reach up and over the head. And then exhale, slowly come back down in alignment with the spine. Last 2. One more. Good. Take a moment just to rest. If you want to let the knees fall into one another, take some moment just to settle without any effort. And then take your feet flat, knees bent. Again, feet are parallel. Hands down by the side, and see if you can grab onto the outside edges of your mat. So get a good grip there. Press down into the feet, roll up through the spine. Once again, come up one vertebrae at a time. Now take your shoulders underneath you. So roll one shoulder, then the other, underneath the body. And you'll feel the chin moves towards the sternal notch, so don't move the head in any way. Keep it straight, neck neutral. And now inner elbows of the extended arms are lifting up towards the ceiling, and as you continue to grip the mat, almost pulling the sides of the mat out. And then continue to reach into the feet, absorb the tailbone in, see if you can unclench the glutes. So that back postural line working, but not with strain or stress. And then send that breath from the belly all the way up to the collarbones. And exhaling, belly, ribs, chest, collarbones. Think of the legs and feet like roots. A couple more. Nice. And then slowly release the shoulders, release the grip on the mat, and one vertebrae at a time, just let the spine melt back into the earth. Take a moment there again if you want the knees to fall in or even placing the hands on the belly. Just rest. Let everything settle. Extend your legs long to the floor. Bring the arms down by your side. And we're going to move into half moon here on the floor. So right arm's going to reach up and over the head. And then bow the upper body. So let the upper body come into that half moon shape. But make sure that the right hip stays anchored to the floor. And maybe you'll feel that psoas stretch or somewhere, anywhere between the outer hip, through the rib cage, all the way up into the shoulder. Just depends on where you hold your tension. Either way, breathe into the sensation. And if you want to go deeper, walk your legs to the left and make it even more of a half moon shape. Now the key here is that you have to keep the legs and feet together. So when you get to the part where you can't do that anymore, that's as far as you'll go. And again, you got to stay heavy through that right hip. And it's always fascinating to me how tight I've become in this area of the body. And this is going to impact our ability for back bending, which is heart expansion. And really, it translates into our life, that tension being that inability to move forward. So we let go, we breathe here, and we create new space. Last one. Now, if you had the feet in a position, bring the feet back to neutral first. And then you can back off a little bit if it feels kind of intense. I want you to stay in the position but not be intense. And then take your right hand up underneath your rib cage and see if you can go laterally towards the side body. And then kind of just give a little bit of massage down into that area until you feel that long muscle deep underneath on the side of the abdominal muscle. And then as you go down in there, you might feel some tension, you might feel some achiness. You usually know you're on psoas when you've gotten to that like kind of achy feeling. You can do cross fiber friction by rubbing the fingers back and forth, almost like you were rubbing them over a rope, so laterally over a rope. And then when you get into that muscle, you can kind of, again, feel a release there. And then once you've done that, come back to the central position. Everybody's neutral. And then we'll do the other side. So now left arm's going to lift up, bow the upper body to the right. Start here. Take a moment to anchor through the left hip. Legs and feet stay together. And you might find there's an imbalance. Maybe one side's tighter than the other. Just observe that. See if you can still get breath into the areas of sensation. And then walk your legs over to the right side and deepen that bow. Remember, the key is to keep the legs and feet together. Left hip stays anchored. Breathe deeply here. And then release the feet. You can release the upper back a little bit if you need to, but we're going to go back in that massage. So go right underneath the rib cage and then move laterally towards the outside of the body. And then just start to kind of do some cross fiber friction there, down into that deep muscle that's on the side of rectus abdominis, side of the abdominal muscles we're most familiar with. And you just kind of go down until you find that achy muscle. And just give it some massage, some relief. If you think about this muscle contributing to walking, you know, how much support it gives us. Just give it a little bit of freedom there, a little bit of love. You can go up and down a couple times. And when you feel like you've had enough, just bring the upper body back into that neutral position and take a moment here. So left knee bends, take the right foot on top of that knee and then open the knee out to the side, flexing the right foot. You can stay here. If you'd like, you can bring the right hand through the hole, left hand around the outside of the thigh, lift the foot off the floor and move into this pigeon pose here on your back. Now, as you draw the left thigh in, and that right elbow happens to touch the right thigh, you can push the right thigh open a little bit more. But we just want to create some space here in the hip rotators. We touched on that a little bit in Warrior Two, but just a little deeper now. If you want to take that to one more stage, you can straighten the left leg to the floor and take the right foot into the crease of the left elbow and then wrap the right arm around. Now, ideally, the head stays on the floor, but if you have any tension, that might not be possible. So you just keep a little bit of a crunch there, chin in, and then you can rock from side to side. So this is very much like if you were in pigeon pose, just on your back. Just getting that little stretch there, a little relief. And then when you're done, you can come out of whatever position you're in. If you have this right foot, you can clasp the outside of it with your left hand, straighten your left leg to the floor if it's not already there, and now lower the right knee down as you take the left foot into the crease of left hip and thigh into half lotus. And right hand can just gently push that knee down and away. It doesn't have to be deep or strong. Just go to your capacity, mindful of your knee. And then gently release that. Right knee will stay bent, foot flat. Left foot can come up. Resting that ankle on the knee, open the left knee out to the side and flex the foot. You can just stay there if you've got a lot of tension, or you can take the left hand through the hole, right hand comes around, grab the outside of the thigh, underneath the thigh, and then the left elbow pushes the knee open a little deeper, but only if it reaches. Tailbone stays long away from crown of head. Breathe into the hip. Once you get a little relief there, if you want to take it into that last stage, that's to straighten the right leg to the floor. And now the outside of the left foot's going to go into the crease of the right hip. Right elbow, wrap the arm around the thigh. And now you can rock back and forth if you want. And just keep the left foot flexed. Toes pulling back. Got 2 more breaths here. And then gently release, grab onto the outside of the right foot. If the right leg isn't straight to the floor, take it to the floor. And now you're going to move into that half lotus. Gently use your left hand to push the knee away. And it's really important that the outside of the foot is what you're holding on to, because that helps to protect the knee joint. And just give a little stretch there. And then we'll gently release. And we'll bring both feet flat, both knees bent. Once again, you can lightly touch your heels with your fingertips. So what's interesting is, the areas of the body that need to be open to do back bending safely. So we're going to repeat what we did before with bridge pose and then give the option of full wheel. So if you want, you can hold on to the outside edges of your mat, press equally into both feet, roll up through your spine, take one shoulder under you and then the other, and return to bridge pose. And just notice, does this feel more spacious? A little bit more freedom there in the body. And if that's feeling really good for you today, you can come back down, take the hands underneath the shoulders, fingertips point towards the toes, and we'll move up into full wheel, first starting on the crown of the head and then pressing into the full posture. So do that when you feel ready. And it's as many breaths as you feel comfortable. It's a very intense pose, so come down gently when you are finished and rest. So first to crown, and then pressing into the hands. Do your best to keep the knees from splaying apart, toes in slightly, push the chest towards the front of the room. And then take your time to come down. Once again, no matter which position you are in, you can let the knees fall in and just rest the hands on the tummy. You know, part of that willingness, that drive, that enthusiasm for life is even just taking those risks, whether it's something like that or even just being willing to stay consistently open as in that bridge pose. It's a lot of vulnerability, and it takes courage. One more breath here, please. And we're actually going to roll over onto our right side for just a moment in fetal, and then gently roll back up into a seated position. And find Dandasana, so internally rotate your thighs in and down. Once again, root into the legs and the tailbone, the hands, and just feel that tall spine. Just notice how you feel, any different than before. We're going to move into Marichi Asana C. So you're going to bend your right knee and bring that foot as close to the inner thigh as you can. Hold the shin bone and sit tall. So you want to create that height through the spine. Then the left arm is going to wrap around the right knee. Right hand goes behind you. You can lean back with the chest to get some of the belly and flesh out of the way. And then once you get that, go ahead and use your core strength to pull the chest closer to the thigh so that the spine is nice and tall. So left supporting leg stays engaged, toes are flexed, and then once you're ready, look over the right shoulder, bringing it into that full twist. Again, use the core strength to keep drawing chest towards the thigh. Breathe deeply here. Now, whatever work we did, just unwinding some of that, and yet still operating in that vertical length. Couple more. Just let go. And now, head looks over the left shoulder first before you unwind, and then gently release, but hold your shin bone again and sit tall and just feel the subtle spiral releasing. And then we'll switch sides. So Dandasana as a reset. And then now bend the left knee and draw that foot to the inner thigh. Hold the shin bone and sit as tall as you can. And then keeping that height, we're just going to wrap the right arm around the knee, left hand behind you, and you can lean back a little bit here, and that helps to pull some of the belly and the flesh out of the way so the twist is deeper. And then once you get that, you can use your core strength to feel like you're drawing your chest to your thigh, and then look over the left shoulder and come into this Marichi Asana on the other side. Use your breath to deepen the twist. Inhale maybe intensifies things. Exhale helps to release and unwind. One more here. And then turn your gaze first over the right shoulder. And then gently release that and hold the shin bone and sit tall. And then reset into Dandasana. Everything is strong and engaged. And then bring the soles of your feet together. We're going to keep that height through the spine. Hands by the hips, scoot the hips forward as best you can and try to maintain an anterior rotation of the spine. And then hold the feet with the hands. Bring the elbows in towards your rib cage and lift your heart through your shoulders. And draw your chin in. Close your eyes. Feel again that vertical line anchored from the root through the crown. And then that full breath, belly, ribs, chest, collarbones. Exhaling, belly, ribs, chest, collarbones. Feel as it rises above the collarbones, that enthusiasm, that zest for life. Willingness towards growth and expansion. You know, we have a very limited view of a lot of these things. It doesn't mean that you are having to engage more in the material world. Sometimes that growth and expansion is detaching from some of those material desires and moving into greater expansion and growth spiritually. One more here. And then just release the effort, straighten the legs, internally rotate, and we're just going to move into a nice forward fold. So inhale, the arms reach up, full expansion of the chest. Exhale, pull the navel in and just lean forward just to your capacity. Then let your hands come down to shin, ankle, foot, floor, wherever you're most comfortable. And now just completely let go. Navel hugs the back body. Did a lot of work on extension, but also some back bending. So breathe into the kidneys. Just 3 more. Now take your time to come up. So bring your hands into the floor and first extend your sternum flat back. And then walk your hands the rest of the way up and rest in a Dandasana. And we'll come onto our backs one more time. If you have a block handy nearby, grab onto it. If you don't have a block, you can just keep your back flat and extend your legs straight into the air with the soles of the feet facing the ceiling. Otherwise, if you want, you can move into Viparita Karani Mudra modification with the block, coming into bridge first, sliding the block underneath the sacrum, and then using that to extend the legs up, arms down by your side, palms face up. You can place the block on any edge you need. No matter which position you're in, just rest here. So whether the earth is supporting the spine or you can feel that the block is creating some traction there for the spine, breathe into those areas. Just a few more here. And then take the block out from underneath the sacrum, rise onto the balls of the feet, and slowly roll the spine down one vertebrae at a time. And if the back was flat and the legs were extended, you could take your thumbs underneath your hips, keep your legs and feet together, and just use your core strength to slowly lower those legs together down to the floor. And once everything comes down, we'll open the feet out wide. So feet wider than hip distance, toes roll out. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Let your heart be open. Palms up. And just settle here onto your back into Shavasana. As you release, feeling the support of the earth. And then just letting the mind observe the rise and fall of the abdomen until that gentle rocking sensation slowly takes you into that deep rest. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. As the breath comes in, gently run thumb across fingertips. And gently move toes and feel that draw to come back to this time and space, that enthusiasm. You can roll wrists and ankles and slowly enliven everything else. And curl to your right side and fetal for just a moment. Arm under the head as a pillow. And placing the hand into the earth, slowly come back up into seated. Head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come up. And prop your sit bones up for a few moments here of meditation. Pranayama. And sit with a tall spine, relaxed body. Sukhasana is fine, just cross-legged position or any comfortable seated position. And then take a moment to return back to smooth breathing. Belly, ribs, chest on inhale, belly, ribs, chest on exhale. Good, and once you find that breath nice and smooth, we're going to begin a practice called viloma, which is a breath to increase our capacity or our expansion. And we're going to do this on inhalation. So I'll explain it and then we'll practice it together. You're going to breathe in for a count of 3 to the belly and then pause. And on that same inhale, you're going to breathe in for 3 more and pause. That'll be in the rib cage area. And then you're going to breathe in 3 more into the chest and collarbone area and pause. And then we're going to take the full 9 counts to exhale without any pauses. So it'll be belly, ribs, chest for 9 counts until we get all the way to the end. And then we'll repeat it again, breaking up that inhale into 3 parts with a pause in between. And if you count that, that's actually a 9 count inhale, which is greater than most people are breathing on a regular breath. So let's take a moment to breathe in and out nice and smooth. Good. And breathe into the belly for 2, 3, pause. Rib cage, 5, 6, pause. Chest and collarbones, 8, 9, pause. Exhale the full 9 counts, belly through chest. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale the belly. 2, 3, pause. Inhale the ribs. 5, 6, pause. Inhale the chest and collarbones. 8, 9, pause. Exhale the full 9 counts. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale belly. 2, 3, pause. Inhale ribs. 5, 6, pause. Inhale chest and collarbones. 8, 9, pause. Exhale 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So just 6 more, please, on your own. Remember, as you exhale, the collarbones will be the last thing to release. About 2 more here. And there's no rush, so when you finish, take a moment to just regulate the breath. Inhale, exhale, smooth breathing again. And see if you can sustain that full 9 counts on inhale, full 9 counts on exhale. So oftentimes, maybe our breath averages around 4 to 6. And we do have the capacity for more. And we just become sort of stuck in the familiar. And this practice is just a great opportunity to explore that, explore some of our capacity in a calm and relaxed state. So let the technique go now, let the breath go now, and just sit for a moment or two in the stillness and silence, and the calm that follows that conscious breathing practice. And from that place there, just lower your chin to your chest. And keep that good feeling with you as you bring your hands to your heart and take a moment just to recall the place of growth or enthusiasm that we're moving into in our lives, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And then in your mind's eye, just see and feel that becoming a reality. That it's already happened, that it is done. Namaste.